Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I have a 21 Mazda Miata ND2. It's a GTRF. It's got the 2-liter Skyactiv engine. I recently did an oil change on it. Now I am pretty. I really like the Amsoil products. So I did put Amsoil 0 20, and I did also use Amsoil's oil filter right here. But after doing a little bit of research, I found out that these particular Skyactiv engines may be a little bit picky about what oil filter you use. So until I could do a little more research on it, I went ahead and pulled off my Amsoil filter, and I bought another Mazda filter. And what we're going to do is, I didn't see a lot of videos on this, so we're going to actually break apart the Amsoil filter. We're going to compare it to the Mazda filter and see what it is, if anything in particular, that makes either one of these oil filters special at all for this motor. Now, I guess I do need to say is that this particular Mazda engine is a higher revving engine than the under the, I want to say is 2016 or less. I can't remember when the ND1 and ND2s started, but the ND2 model, the 2-liter engine, has actually got a 7,500 red line, 181 horsepower or something like that. So it would make sense if it did require a little bit more oil pressure. So we're going to compare these filters and see what we come up with. So the first thing we notice about these filters is the size, which are both pretty small. This is the Mazda filter right here. This is the Amsoil filter right here. And as you can see, the Mazda filter is a little bit larger. The body all the way around is a little bit bigger. Matter of fact, this one is 2 3/4 inches all the way across. The Amsoil filter is 2 5/8, which good thing about the Amsoil is that I've got filter wrenches that fit this one. This one not in particular. It's just a little bit bigger, and I have a really hard time finding a wrench, so I had to use one of the old school clamp wrenches to put the new filter on. This is the filter that came off when I did the oil change. This one's, I feel almost sad because I only have about 200 miles on this filter. Punched a hole in it to drain some of the oil so I didn't make such of a mess taking it off. But I figured until I could find out one way or another, it wouldn't be that big of a deal anyway. But first thing we notice, they're both built pretty well. The weight's about the same. I want to say this one probably actually weighs a little bit more, but it's also a little more soaked with oil than this one is, since it's been hanging upside down for about a week or so. The hole count, this one got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one probably got almost, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this has got 10 more of the holes right here. This one's only got, what was it, 6 rather. So you got about 4 more on this one you do here. Not sure how much difference that makes as far as oil pressure goes, ability to oil flow. I don't know. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get this little guy out. We're going to break these filters open and see what's on the inside, see if there's anything really special about this one that Mazda would be so intent on suggesting to use it. I bet what I'm going to find is that since this filter is a little bit larger, may have a little more filter media, and actually, since it's larger, since it actually holds more volume, that may improve oil pressure and flow as well. So let's just see what's inside these guys. Okay, so I got them cut open. We'll start with the Mazda one. By the way, the Mazda one, I noticed it is made in Mexico, which is kind of weird. I figured it would have been made in, made in Japan or China or whatever, wherever these cars come from. This was actually made in the U.S., so way to go, Amsoil, for making their filters here in the USA. When I cut this one open, first thing I noticed, a very strong spring. Like, I can't even get it mashed back together. Let's take a look at this. It's a good solid build. And it looks like we got about 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 threads there for the Mazda filter. For this one, got about 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 1, 2, 3. Well, about 3 threads there. So you got 3 threads on the Amsoil, 4 on the Mazda filter. Get this out of the way. All right, drain back valve. Unless I'm missing it. That's it. Maybe that's pretty much. I see a lack of a drain back unless I left it here. No? No, that's the Amsoil. Seems on the Mazda, it's just a lack of a drain back valve. I know I didn't lose it anywhere. No? Huh. This is a new one. No? Interesting. There's a drain back valve right here on this one. Silicone drain back, or anti-drain back valve right there. For some reason, Mazda doesn't have one. Don't know why. It's weird. I mean, it's got this. I don't know if that's the one we're looking at, not. I think that's just an O-ring for the filter itself, but that's weird. Mazda doesn't have a drain back. It's just not there. That's weird. Okay, moving on. I guess that's an O-ring for the filter itself. Amsoil has their really, really nice silicone anti-drain back right there. Really, really nice. So far, Mazda has better threads than the Amsoil. Amsoil has the anti-drain back valve silicone, and Mazda apparently in this particular model doesn't have a drain back at all. Whatever. Filter medium. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to measure these filter mediums and count the pleats and see what we got. Okay. This is where the rubber really meets the road when it comes to these filters. Here's the Mazda filter. And you can tell with the Mazda and the Amsoil, you can really tell a difference here. Okay. The Mazda filter is about 1 7/8 inch wide. The Amsoil, sadly, is only about 1 5/8. So it's about 1/4 of an inch difference in the width of these filters overall. The diameter, still, Mazda filter, it's got a wider area, or excuse me, I'm getting these mixed up. This is the Amsoil. Amsoil's on the bottom. The Amsoil has a little bit wider, but not that much. Maybe about 1/8 of an inch wider. The fact that you have 1/8 of an inch wider filter in a smaller container, that tells me the flow isn't going to be quite as good. At least I don't think. Also, the Mazda filter, not only has it got a wider area here, it also has 52 pleats. 52 pleats. Amsoil As you can see, it's got wider pleats here. It only has 31. Another thing, I don't particularly care for this Amsoil filter. Nothing against Amsoil. I love their oil. I love their products. Is the inside here. Now, I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's just not a lot of screen area, and you especially have, see that large corkscrew thing? It takes up a lot of space right there. Mazda filter, it's got that too, but it's just got more screen area. You see all that in there? Which naturally, because it's wider, probably would. That's the spring. So the Mazda filter had this pretty strong spring in there, and that really held the filter very well up against the base. This one, all it has is just, not really sure. I guess that works. Not really sure. I don't know. There you can see the inside of that a little bit better. It's just a really small area. Now, again, this is not me knocking Amsoil. I can see both of these filters got their pros and their cons. Pardon me. I'm trying not to drop my phone. I guess I'm glad that I put the Mazda filter back on. The Mazda filter definitely has more filtering area. Okay. The filter, the actual body of the filter itself is larger. So you got a larger filter body, more filter area, more pleats, and on the inside there you got more screen. You also got a stronger spring. The only thing I don't really understand about Mazda, or about this particular filter, is that the utter lack of a drain back valve, or the anti-drain back valve. I don't know why this filter just didn't have one. There was an O-ring, which, I mean, it just had this little O-ring that went right here. It's just a run-of-the-mill, nothing special, rubber O-ring. No drain back. The Amsoil did have the drain back, which the filter itself does hang upside down inside the engine bay. So it's not like old school where it plugs into the side, but it hangs upside down. So there may not be a need for a drain back valve. I'm not sure. I do like Amsoil's drain back valve, but really for this filter, that's really the only good thing I have to say about it. Again, I love Amsoil products, but I'm probably going to use the Mazda filter from now on, unless I can find that there is some really, really awesome reason to have this in here. But I think as far as flow, filtration, and probably all over build quality, I'll probably stick with the Mazda anyway. Anyway, tell me what you guys think. I hope this is informative. Again, if you run Amsoil, that's awesome. It's not a bad filter. I mean, this is solid. It's just, I don't really like the very, very small filtration area, lack of pleats. This is just more area, more pleats, more filtration, more flow. I think this is probably better. This particular right here is probably better for Mazda anyway, especially for the ND2 engines, higher red line, etc. But anyway, that's it for today. Y'all have a good one.